Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another epic drone show live. And if you're watching this at approximately 9:02 p.m. New York City time, this is a live show. Hey, Sean Coonery? Excuse me, sir. Sean Coonery. As Sean Coonery entered, he said he will be personally attending. So, today we got a lot of good stuff. I'm proud to announce that that my Mavic Air is still beyond rock solid as far as performance is concerned, and I actually had time. Jab's Adventures, JAB's Adventures rather. Welcome aboard, man. I got a lot of people. See a lot of people tuning in here. Central Virginia Tactical. How's it going? Yeah, it's going great. And again, you know, if you're watching this, if this is your first time to catch Epic Drone Show Live, if you're watching this on February the 18th of 2018 at approximately 9:03 p.m. New York City time, this is a live show. So anything you type, I can see and we can chat. SoCal Seth, welcome aboard. Real estate student, welcome aboard, and good luck with that real estate exam. It sounds like you may be a real estate student, you know, trying to pass that real estate exam. Good luck. Whoa, we got Sean Coonery in here. He just came in. B Hendo 15 made it. Glad you made it, man. Hey, excuse me, sir. Sean Coonery, you're going to have to move. We've got limited studio space here. Sorry. Hold on just a second. I've got the enormous Maine Coon cat, Sean Coonery. He tuned in to the live show. Actually, he didn't tune in. He personally invited himself on top of to get on top of the desk here. So, excuse me, sir. We're going to have to remove you. Oh, sorry. Yep. Yep, just not enough space tonight. No, we'll do a live show for you. Yep, this live show is obviously all about drones. So, let's go ahead and get started here. First of all, I want to ask y'all, oh, I got fur on this. What questions do y'all have in regards to Mavic Air? You know, is there something that you're personally curious about? Is there something that has not yet been field tested that you'd like to see me field test? I plan to have another day in the field tomorrow with the Mavic Air, so I'll try to get it going. SoCal Seth says, have you gotten to test active track on the Mavic Air yet? Actually, I have, and I've got a video of me testing active track. Let me pull that link up for you. Be just a second here. I'll get you the active track with Mavic Air video link. Hey, Sean Cooner, you got to stay over there, okay? You can come down here, but he's excited to be on the beach because the beach is just like, excuse me, like a big litter box. Hey, Sean Coonery, come over here. You're making me nervous. You're making me nervous. Come over here. Okay, here's a link to the Mavic Air Active Track test. And by the way, Active Track, for everyone out there watching that's not familiar with Active Track tracks visually. So, unlike some other follow me type modes in the past that we've seen with drones that follow the controller, Active Track tracks an object. That could be someone. That could be a boat, a car, anything, whether it's moving or, well, you'd want it to be moving to track it, but it visually tracks it. But check that out. I did a test. I ran through a field and tested active track. Tell me what y'all think about that. Joker Mayhem 666 says, "Give me a shout out, IrixGuy. Shout out, man. I see you commenting on a lot of videos." And thanks for being one of the top viewers and subscribers of IrixGuy's Adventure channel. That's really important. Real estate student says, how far have you taken it before it lost signal? Well, I've taken it throughout the visual line of sight range. And throughout the visual line of sight range, I have not experienced degraded FPV, nor have I experienced degraded controls. So the Mavic Air, even though it's it's Wi-Fi, enhanced Wi-Fi, instead of OcuSync, again, it hasn't created any problems for me. I was able to fly throughout the entire visual line of sight range, and your eyesight may be better, and if that's the case, then if you're flying further than I was visually, there's a possibility there, depending upon how good your eyesight is, you may be able to experience issues. I never did. I've only got 20/20 vision though, which I think is perfect. But if you've got some sort of cyborg vision or something really cool that enables you to see better than most people, that'd be different. SoCal says, I wish it had the follow me also. Yeah, I don't think, and I may be incorrect with this statement, but I don't think that Mavic Air has follow me. I think Mavic Air only does active track, which is visual tracking of an object. It's not following a controller or anything. So, and again, I may be incorrect with that assumption, but I think I probably am correct. But I'll just throw that disclaimer out there. So one of the things that I really enjoyed today in the field, and I've still got to get my short iOS cable, and you can find this on epicdroneshow.com, by the way. But I've really enjoyed having this and being able to put my iPhone on top. And see, this stretches out quite a bit. Look at that. I mean, it's got room to accommodate a lot of devices, not just the iPhone 7 Plus like I use. But this has made the flying experience so much more intuitive. Something I took to the field today in response to a question from at least one or two people. I forget how many. There weren't a lot of people that asked it, but people were asking, what's the optimal antenna placement for your Mavic Air? And for what I've, sometimes I've flown with it just like that, but I think it's actually supposed to be like that. But in both scenarios, I was able to fly throughout the entire visual line of sight range, and I never experienced FPV degradation or loss of control. So whether I had them straight out or whether I had them up, it didn't make a difference to me. Chimsy Sunday says, please can you be a help? I have a Phantom 4. I noticed my controller don't last up the time of flight while the drone's still up, the controller battery gone, beeping and warning. Sounds like you may have a bad battery in your Phantom's controller. Now, did you attempt to charge a controller? If so, did it seem that it was accepting the charge? Have you completely depleted the charge in that controller to where it won't even turn on at all, and then tried charging it? Just a few things to check. I mean, a lot of times, though, unfortunately, with batteries, it could be it possibly could be an unrecoverable situation. I mean, it's hard to say, when you're dealing with something battery related. So, Roger Martin says, just dropping by to say I like your videos that you post. Well, Roger, that's good, man. And I appreciate that because, again, this is an independent channel, not part of a multi-channel network, purely independent. And it's viewers like you and everybody that's watching, and even people right now that aren't watching that couldn't make the show. And if you couldn't make it, please go to epicdroneshow.com and you can watch the previously recorded version of this and all other Epic Drone Show live shows. And obviously it goes without saying, if you're looking for drones, drone accessories, drone tutorials, drone reviews, anything that you need, just go to epicdroneshow.com. And if you can't find it there, shoot me a message. The best way to get me is facebook.com/IrixGuy. And if it's not already listed on epicdroneshow.com, I bet I can probably find a link for you. So appreciate that. Joker Mayhem 666 says, I've heard that the Mavic Pro 2 will have bigger motors and props with 33 minutes of actual flight time. And if that's actual flight time of 33 minutes versus optimal conditions flight time, 33 minutes would be a heck of a long time for a drone to be in the air. And that's, again, one of the things about the Mavic Air, people have been saying, hey man, that battery life of 21 minutes just isn't enough. And as I've stated, I don't get 21 minutes of battery life out of the Mavic Air. And I'll stick to what I've what I've said before. I usually get a solid 16 minutes. You know, sometimes I may get, you know, +1, +2 more minutes, maybe even +3. You know, so 16 to 19 minute range, or 16 to 19 minute battery life is what I've experienced in the real world flying conditions with my Mavic Air. So the 21 minutes, I have not hit that. But again, you know, they touted that as being, and I forget the exact verbiage that they used, but it was basically optimal flying conditions. So, you know, as perfect as the weather could be, as relaxed as one could be with the controller, you know, no abrupt movements, whatever the formula may be for maximizing battery life, that's how that 21 minutes came about. But again, real world, what I've observed with my Mavic Air, 16 minutes, +1, +2, maybe +3 minutes, which is a long time, man. You know, when you're filming a 5-minute YouTube video, you can film that. You got 5 more minutes to reshoot if you mess up, and then you've got a good 6 to 9 minutes of just goofing off time. Or if you're really bad with filming, you got a third attempt. Or maybe you're really good with filming and you're filming 3 5-minute videos. Boom, 5, 5, 5. That's 15, and that leaves 16, 17, 18, 19, possibly 4 more minutes or so after those 3 videos, those 3 5-minute videos are filmed. So, but to your point, Mavic Pro 2 with what you were saying, 33-minute battery life, that's insane, man. You know, if Mavic Pro 2 comes in at a size similar or maybe just slightly larger than the Mavic Air, and it has a 1-inch sensor with 4K 60 and impressive battery life like that, that's incredible. It really is. Christopher says, I've heard people taking the Mavic Air, let's see, Chimsy, you're welcome, man. Joker Mayhem 666 says, I've heard the Mavic Pro 2 controller, although looking the same, but will be vastly improved. Your thoughts? You know, from what I've heard, I haven't heard any talk about the controller itself. The big things that I've heard, obviously, is the 1-inch sensor, the 4K 60, that's 4K 60 frames per second. Again, not to be confused with the 100 megabit per second speed of write to the card in this. The Mavic Air is still 4K 30, 4K 30, but it does write at 100 megabits per second to the card. But the Mavic Pro 2, again, the rumors I've heard, 4K 60 by way of a 1-inch sensor, and obviously better battery life, and that's cool that you stated the 33 minutes. It'll be cool to see if that's the actual real-world battery performance from the Mavic Pro 2, or if that's the overstated performance, meaning that we may, you know, if DJI said 33 minutes, then my assumption would be that in real world it may perform as well as 25 minutes. But I don't know. Again, to be tested when the Mavic Pro 2 releases. But that's interesting. You've heard about, what have you heard about the controller for the Mavic Pro 2? SoCal says the Phantom 4 Pro that you mostly use. Well, no, actually it's the Phantom 4 until I got the Mavic Air. And the reason I use the Phantom 4 in favor of Phantom 4 Pro is that, again, Phantom 4 Pro had that annoying tap to focus requirement, just like the Mavic Pro. It had tap to focus. So, you know, understand what DJI's intentions were. You know, they wanted to provide an advanced, trying to think of a good way to say this. They were wanting to provide an advanced camera capability for their Pro series of the Phantom 4, the Phantom 4 Pro. You know, people that can focus. If you look at a lot of photos and videos as well that others, including myself, put online with their, you know, their high-end mirrorless cameras, where you get that depth of field and just really good-looking, you know, defocused background or bokeh, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's where you're dealing with, you know, you're really tuning in your camera's focus, and you're really, you know, you're kicking that thing into manual mode. You're playing with, you know, shallow depth of field. You know, you're shooting that camera wide open, meaning the aperture is a low number instead of a high number. But with a drone, and again, people have different opinions and likes and dislikes, but with a drone, my thing is that I've got a tool that I'm pulling out of my backpack, you know, something small, something lightweight, and that's why I love the Mavic Air. But something I can pull out in a safe and responsible location. I can power it on. I don't have to worry about any unexpected things, except, you know, there may be a firmware update. Hey, can you download this? Sure. You know, there goes a few minutes of battery life because I had to download the firmware. That's why it's always disappointing when those hit between studio and field. You know, you've updated your firmware in the studio and then a new one comes out when you're in the field. Well, what are you going to do? You know, to be safe and responsible, yeah, you got to update it. You should update it. So, but yeah, Phantom 4, until I got the Mavic Air, Phantom 4 was my go-to drone. Phantom 4 Pro, although it had a 1-inch sensor, Phantom 4 Pro, unfortunately, with that tap to focus requirement, that was a turnoff for me. Because when I'm exhausting a battery, and I may not have a lot of batteries with me, when I'm exhausting a battery, and then I take it back to my studio and I find that the video wasn't perfectly focused because of tap to focus, it's super annoying. So, you know, to be able to take something airborne, whether it's a Phantom 4 or a Mavic Air that does not have tap to focus, take it up in the air, you know, shoot you some video, have a somewhat high degree of confidence that the video should be well focused. You know, eliminate that what if. And to me, as sad as it is, I would really love to have that 1-inch sensor in 4K 60, but you know, I got to go with what's consistently rock solid, and right now it's the Mavic Air and the Phantom 4 for me. Joker Mayhem 666 says, do you think DJI will come out with a quad or props for the Mavic Air? I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, DJI, you know, they're excellent marketers. You know, they give us just enough to where we want more, and then where we look at the other drones in their family and say, well, you know, I need this one too because it does this. But you see, they instill that that sense of need. You know, that feeling that one needs more. That what they have here, just like with Mavic Air, what they've done with Mavic Air is brilliant. You know, they gave us something that people wanted, including myself: small form factor, portable, lightweight, 4K 30 or better. But they didn't give us 4K 60. They didn't give us 1-inch sensor. They did not give us OcuSync. So they left us wanting more. Just here with this Mavic Air. They're brilliant. They are brilliant marketers. I love the Mavic Air, and I'm not saying this to bash the Mavic Air. I'm just saying they gave us a good bit. They gave us enough for, you know, a lot of people to want to buy the Mavic Air. But they left just enough out to where when they come out with Mavic Pro 2 that people will want it. And likewise, when Mavic Pro 2 comes out, they'll probably leave just enough off of it to where people want the Phantom 5. So it's kind of crazy. Air Rogers said the Mavic Pro 2 will not only be bigger than the Air, it would also be bigger than the current Mavic Pro. That's a good possibility. And it's also possible that the Phantom 5 may be size-wise, even though it'll probably be a foldable design, the Phantom 5 will probably fall in size between the current model Phantom 4 and Phantom 4 Pro and the Inspire. Now, I don't think it'll be overwhelmingly large like an Inspire, but I think it'll be something larger so that it could carry a very high-end camera, a Hasselblad maybe. You know, since DJI they acquired Hasselblad, that's always a possibility. B. Hendo says, I heard the Mavic Air props are not folding because they get better flight time. You know what? That's a good theory. You know, just like with a boat. You know, if you got you wouldn't have a foldable prop on a boat, but if you had something like an aluminum prop, it's going to have more flex in it in the water versus a stainless steel prop that's going to be more rigid. Obviously, the advantage to an aluminum prop is that if it hits something underwater, that it'll probably break more easily than stainless steel. If a stainless steel hits something underwater like a log or a rock or something, it may not break, and it may send a lot of wobble and everything through all the way into the motor. So I mean, into the engine rather. So you never know. But it would make sense with propellers on a drone that the one-piece propeller is probably more efficient. That's an assumption. The one-piece propeller is probably more efficient than a foldable design propeller. So, interesting. Joker Mayhem 666 says, Osita LV is my source for rumors. B Hendo says, do you like the video quality of the Mavic Air? I have one. I'm just curious on your honest thoughts of the video quality. Well, again, until the Mavic Air came out, I was still using Phantom 4, and that's because Phantom 4 I could get consistently rock solid 4K 30 video without tap to focus. But when Mavic Air came out, I've discontinued use of Phantom 4. So that right there illustrates why. I mean, that answers your question. Yes, I think Mavic Air 4K 30 video quality is excellent. And again, I need to test it more than I have, film more in different lighting conditions, different environments. I filmed with Phantom 4 in a ton of different environments, and I want to do that with the Mavic Air. But I mean, already the Mavic Air has proven to be as good, if not better, from a video quality perspective than the Phantom 4. So I've already discontinued use of my Phantom 4 in favor of the lighter and more portable Mavic Air. So yeah, it does a great job. And actually in wind, in moderate wind, I haven't been in a heavier wind like I have with, in stronger wind weather like I have with the Phantom 4. But so far this holds up. The only time where I was able to get the gimbal all wonky and stuff is when I was flying in sport mode. And obviously sport mode would not be a mode that someone would fly in if they were expecting to capture smooth and high quality cinematic 4K video. So yeah, I mean, it's been rock solid. Biendo says, do you like to use lens filters? I use a lot of lens filters with my Phantoms, and you can find them all on epicdroneshow.com. But I have not yet used a lens filter with the Mavic Air, and I think a lot of that has to do, well, I don't think, I know that has to do with the fact that now within my Final Cut Pro 10 editing suite, there's a lot of enhanced color correction features that I can use. So I found that I'm assuming it's probably out of the box. It's probably just I don't even know if it's a UV filter. It may just be a clear piece of plastic or glass without any sort of UV filtering properties. But whatever's on it out of the box for me has worked wonderfully. So will I experiment with neutral density filters, CPL filters, etc. with the Mavic Air in the near future? I may. But right now, just using my color correction tools within Final Cut Pro 10, in a lot of scenarios, the video saturation and everything is so good I haven't even had to bump up any of the saturation levels. So yeah, I haven't found a need to use a filter yet. But again, as I get more hours flying in my under my belt with the Mavic Air, then maybe I'll check out some filters and stuff there. But it's yeah, it's pretty sweet. SoCal Seth says, I hear you, Phantom 4 has the Follow Me though, right? Yeah, Phantom 4 has Follow Me. And Phantom 4 also has Active Track, but the Follow Me is where it followed the controller. Chimsy Sunday Uma says, what's the possibility of changing my Phantom 4 controller battery, or what would be the solution? Well, I've never taken the controller apart, but some troubleshooting steps. If you performed all the troubleshooting steps, then you may want to just look online and see if you could find a used controller. Feel free to check out my website, epicdroneshow.com. Go to store, go to drones, and go to drone auction, and there you may stumble upon some used controllers that that may be affordable. I don't know. I've never encountered that, so I don't have any solid troubleshooting advice for you beyond what I said earlier. Crypto Betty says, nice logo. Thank you. This is it's actually if you like the logo and you want some Epic Drone Show merchandise, you can find it for purchase on just go to epicdroneshow.com store and then merch, and you can find it there. Now this shirt, and maybe I'll in the future I'll have some on the store, but this shirt's kind of my shirt only. I'm the only person with this shirt, but I've got coffee mugs, I've got T-shirts, and thanks for liking the logo. Joker Mayhem says, I'm hoping DJI will do something more like the Phantom Air camera gimbal to the Mavic Pro 2 as far as mounting and how it's housed. Do you think this is on DJI's radar? You know, I definitely feel that they would hopefully, with Mavic Pro 2, that they would hopefully more internalize the gimbal and camera like they did with Mavic Air. That's one of the huge pluses that the Mavic Air brings to the playing field. Because with the Mavic Pro, you know, you just kind of felt like you were trying to think of a good analogy here. Like if you were flying with your pants down, you know, it's just all hanging out the front. And that's what it was with the Mavic Pro. I mean, it was just hanging out of the front of the drone. You know, if you encountered a rough landing or whatever, you had a heightened possibility that that it could damage and or destroy the camera and or gimbal. So, you know, it wasn't Mavic Pro, and again, Mavic Pro was first of its kind. It came out after the highly successful Phantom series, and they were looking for something more portable, more lightweight, foldable design, and they did a really good job with the Mavic Pro. But I think, again, now, you know, we're seeing DJI material. They said, okay, consumers like a smaller and more lightweight drone. They gave us Spark. Then from the lessons learned from the Spark, they gave us Mavic Air. Now, it's highly possible that Mavic Pro 2 is just going to be a kill-all. You know, the drone that's so good that nobody would want a Spark, nobody would want a Mavic Air, nobody would want a Phantom. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, that could become their new bread and butter drone. I mean, it could easily displace the DJI Phantom series as being the most popular drone in the world. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together. Bhendo says, who or how did you create your emblem, Epic Drone Show logo? I'm trying to find someone who can help me with logo creation and YouTube channel. Well, you know, again, I'm an independent channel, and it's obviously no huge marketing budget this, that, or the other. So I had to find a well, I'll shoot to the chase here. So I had to find something that was very cheap, but when one assumes cheap, they often think that the quality is going to be horrible. This logo, and I don't know if you've performed any logo research yet, but if you have, you probably found that they can get into the hundreds of dollars, the hundreds of US dollars range. And it's not a cheap thing to do unless, and I found this place, and it was really a treat to work with them. It's a website called $40 Logo, $40logo.com. And I was able to work with them, and I just told them the colors I wanted. Their little setup process was pretty straightforward. You would go through and you could give them, you gave them some high-level information that would enable their creative team to create something. And I forget how many redesigns they give you, but you know, it's not. It definitely could turn out to be a lot more expensive. But with this, they gave me one design, and I was like, I kind of like that, but I want something else. I told them that, and then boom, they came back. Second attempt right here, boom. That's what I got on my shirt. That's what I got in my intro. That's what I've got in the lower third. Epic Drone Show, baby. EpicDroneShow.com. So, yeah, it was $40logo.com. But if you're wanting shirts with my logo on it, just go to EpicDroneShow.com, go to store, and go to merch. And you can find those there. Mark says, do you change your white balance to sunny or cloudy on Mavic Air, or just leave it on auto? I've just left it on auto, man. But what I have found with the Mavic Air, and this was actually a discovery today, and again, everything I film in 4K 30, but I found with the Mavic Air that in auto mode, if I'm flying towards the sun, whereas with Phantom 4, if I was flying towards the sun, I could often get away with it. I mean, it would still look less good than flying away from the sun. But with the Mavic Air, I have noticed lens flare when I'm flying towards the sun. I got that with the Phantom 4 as well, but it seems to be more pronounced with the Mavic Air. So again, that's all in auto white balance, auto everything, just 4K 30, 100 megabits per second write to the card. Air Roger says, currently the most popular drone in the world is the Mavic Pro, and it's not even close to the Phantom. Has been a drone in 2018. Chimazi Sunday says, please do anyone know exact launch date or release for the Mavic Pro 2? Well, there's a lot of people, and I'm kind of on the fence with this. There's a lot of people that think Mavic Pro 2 is coming at the NAB show, the broadcaster show. Honestly, I would think it would be Phantom 5 and then Mavic Pro 2, but the overwhelming majority seems to think that we're going to get Mavic Pro 2 before we get Phantom 5. And if that's the case, again, my educated assumption would be the NAB show, which I think that's in March. I think that's next month, because it's February right now. It's February the 18th. Joker Mayhem 666 says, let's see, saying late March. Yeah, and I mean, if it, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm still going to say that I think I'm going to be the odd cookie, and I'm going to say I think we get Phantom 5 before we get Mavic Pro 2. And the only reason is that just from a naming convention perspective, if they've already released Mavic Air, I don't think they want to hurry up and give us Mavic Pro 2 and create confusion with buyers. I think they want more people to buy Mavic Air because Mavic Pro 2 hasn't released yet. Or maybe they don't want to spend as much as Mavic Pro 2 is going to cost, because it'll probably cost more than Mavic Air. So for that reason, I would think they would the DJI would maybe give us Phantom 5 and then release Mavic Pro 2 towards the end of the year, the holiday shopping season. But I may be wrong. But I'm still going to go against the grain and say, that's my educated assumption, that we get Phantom 5 at the NAB show. NAB broadcasters, they want a more professional solution. It would make sense that they would go with their bigger and heavier drone, their Phantom 5 at the NAB show. And again, not to cannibalize sales of Mavic Air. That they would give us Mavic Pro 2 towards the end of the year. So we'll see what happens. I mean, again, I know I'm kind of the oddball there because a lot of people think it's the other way around. So, yeah, I mean, it's, anything that, let's see, SoCal seems like the perfect setup to use Mavic Air. If you need heavy duty, use Phantom 4. That's a good point. I mean, the Phantom 4, I mean, obviously fly a line of sight to be safe and responsible, but the Phantom 4 has a lot longer range. So, if you're out over international waters or somewhere where you're in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing around but an ocean, I mean, there's, obviously this Mavic Air is not going to keep up with the Phantom 4 as far as that's concerned. But for my use case, something portable, something lightweight, I can throw into a backpack along with food and drink and cameras and camera lenses. This is great. It really is. It's my favorite drone today, February the 18th. Joker Mayhem 666 says, do you have a waterproof case for your Mavic Air that would be good to take the Mavic Air with me while mudding on my four-wheeler so I can catch some video? Actually, I do have a waterproof case coming for the Mavic Air. Stay tuned. As soon as I get it, I will put it on epicdroneshow.com. And you'll be able to find it there. And obviously, I'll post a video review of it here on IrixGuy's Adventure channel. So, yep, coming soon. Stay tuned. So, yeah, I mean, nothing catastrophic with the Mavic Air yet. As been a solid performer, and I owe y'all all a lot of follow-up field test videos. So I've got those in the works. I hope to get some of those up as early as tomorrow. So stay tuned for a lot more field tests with my Mavic Air. So it's going to be it's going to be a fun year. I mean, it already is. I mean, and that's the thing with drones. It's like we get one drone and then we're already asking what's next. And I like that. I like that mentality. You know, it's always questioning what's next. I think that's the that's a smart way to be about a lot of things. But in the interim, we can enjoy the ones of us that have taken the plunge and have purchased the Mavic Air. We can enjoy something that's a really fun aircraft. I mean, I love this thing, and I love this. Even though this isn't the waterproof case that I just mentioned, I love this convenient semi-hard case that I can throw in my backpack. And keep in mind, a lot of times I'll take a dry bag with me in my backpack should it start raining, and then what I can do inside of my backpack is put my Mavic Air, my Sony Alpha camera, my lenses, and all of that in the dry bag. So even if I get drenched and my backpack gets drenched, because everything's in a dry bag on the inside, it should stay dry. So that's another thing to consider if you don't want to deal with a hard case. But the case that I'll be reviewing will be a hard case, waterproof and ruggedized case for the Mavic Air. So I'll have that here, hopefully. Let's see, today is, February the 18th. So hopefully within the next week or so. Air Roger says, currently the Mavic Air is killing the Mavic Pro sales numbers. That means Mavic Pro is not selling well, so they need a Mavic Pro 2 so they can up its sales number. Interesting. SoCal says, I love the portability. Yeah, the most portable, well, I would say the most portable drone to date. And you know what? It may actually be more portable than the Spark, simply due to the fact that that it's a foldable design. The Spark was not foldable. So I'll say it's the most portable drone on the market today. I'll go out on a limb and say that. So it's where they need, what they need to do is enable charging by way of the USB-C port on the back of the drone. There's no reason, in my opinion, why they wouldn't allow us to charge the battery with a USB-C cable, because we could charge with the solar bank, the battery bank, USB battery bank. If we're off the grid, we could trickle charge that battery bank with a portable solar panel, and then we could recharge from that battery bank, recharge our Mavic Air. But they don't have that functionality unlocked, and maybe that's something with Mavic Pro 2 that they will do. But hey, Sean Coonery, excuse me. Whoa. He jumped on the desk again. Maybe that's something they'll do with Mavic Pro 2, but I don't know if they're going to, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that if they give us a solution for recharging batteries while we're in the field, then we don't have to buy more batteries. We can just recharge the batteries we have, and that would mean less sales for them. So, it's pretty funny. I mean, pretty much everything that's associated with this hobby, it can be traced back to some sort of dollar value. Well, we don't get this feature because if they gave us this feature, then they wouldn't sell this. I mean, they are brilliant marketers. They really are. SoCal says USB charging and follow me with 60 frames per second. It'd be perfect. I agree. Yeah, 4K 60, 1-inch sensor, USB charging. How about a waterproof drone? Why has DJI not created a waterproof drone yet? It seems kind of weird that I don't think DJI has any true competition. But if you do a search, you can find some drones out there that are supposed to be waterproof, or at least they're referred to as waterproof. But DJI's never, at least to my knowledge, they haven't penetrated that market yet. Yeah, Joker Mayhem says, seems like Sean Coonery is excited about Mavic Pro 2. He definitely is. You hear him talking there. He said, yep. Hey, Sean Coonery, what do you think about Mavic Pro 2? Yep. He said he is ready to get his paws on it. He likes these smaller and more lightweight drones because they're more manageable. I mean, he doesn't have large hands. He's got paws that are very big, but, to put his paws on the drone, it needs to be a smaller drone. The Matrice. The Matrice drone. That's that agricultural drone. Let's see. Bandwidth congestion. Hopefully not. My little bandwidth warning meter is kind of kicking up. Sometimes it'll do that. Oh, I had a backup running. That's crazy. Waterproof and storm flyable. Yeah, something that could be flown in any weather conditions. That would be great. Yeah, one of the most exciting things, and I've still got to get my short cable. And again, you can find it on epicdroneshow.com. But I've really enjoyed having this this mount right here for my iPhone 7 Plus, my big iPhone, because I no longer have to stick it in there. I can keep my iPhone 7 Plus in its case and stick it in here, and I don't have to worry about it getting damaged outside the case while I'm flying a drone. So that's been a huge win. One of the must-have accessories so far for the Mavic Air. B Hendo says, "Do you have any thoughts on them not pushing the waypoint modes?" Well, I think the waypoint modes, I don't know, and this isn't an assumption, rather. When you think of waypoints, you think of autonomous flight, and when you think of autonomous flight, you think of lazy people that may not be responsible. So you got somebody that's lazy and irresponsible, and then they're presented with a tool that will allow autonomous flight. So, I mean, I don't know. It may be an incorrect assumption, but it just seems that would be something that would be potentially hands off the controller, and I don't know if they really want to pump that. But then again, I don't really know if they really care about safety or not. However, within the DJI Go app, they did, and I don't know if y'all have seen this yet, but they introduced the quiz that you had to take. It was like a safety quiz within the DJI Go app, and I thought that was cool. I mean, that made people think. It's like, well, I'm not here with a toy. I'm using something that is an aircraft, and it's potentially very dangerous. So I thought that was really cool. SoCal Seth says, "We get monsoon storms in Arizona. Be great drone film." Hey, yeah, man. It'd be cool. Joker Mayhem 666 says, "Last comment of the day. I've read Mavic Pro 2 will have infrared accident avoidance, which would work at night as well as day, and the drone will be water resistant." That's interesting. They would put something for nighttime use, because in most areas you can't even fly a drone at night. So that is interesting. Maybe they know something about future drone regulations that we're not privy to. Air Roger says the Matrice is a commercial DJI drone that can carry a 2-camera, one on top of the other, and it's waterproof, and it can fly in heavy storm. Oh, okay. So there's the use case right there for the Matrice, the DJI Matrice. That's really cool. Yeah, so the sun out there starting to rise. You can see back there behind me, the sun's coming up. I'll move over here so y'all can see it. There you go. That is Turks and Caicos. So, Mark says, someone was saying the app is limited now to not let you go over the advertised speed downwind. Have you heard this? I have not heard that. You're the first person that shared that tidbit with me. B Hendo says he's been to TCI, Turks and Caicos, in 2010. It's a cool place, man. I tell you, I love Providenciales. And talk about storms, man. Took a boat over from Providenciales to West Caicos. Was it West? Yeah, it was West Caicos. The little bitty abandoned island where Lehman Brothers was building a resort. I think it may have been a Westin. And it was during the financial collapse, and they never finished it. So it's just like an island out there with a vacant, unfinished resort. It was pretty spooky. And then we got out there on the boat, and it was about 30 nautical miles. So you know we're out there in a go fast boat, going going fast, back from West Caicos to Providenciales in a thunderstorm, and that was scary stuff. B Hendo says only went to a Beaches Resort down there. It's a fun place, man. I bet that was probably on Grace Bay. I bet. So, flew down to Provo, and but got on a boat in Provo and went over to West Caicos. Margaritaville, yeah, that's a fun place, man. I was at Margaritaville in the Grill in Jamaica not too long ago. That's a fun little place. Got a water slide out there. You can go off of the Margaritaville into the ocean, which is pretty cool. Have a good evening, B Hendo. Thanks for tuning in, and hey, thanks as always for your viewership, dude. Well, we're about 47 minutes in. Obviously, just want to reiterate, this live show will be available for offline viewing. You can just go to epicdroneshow.com. Here in about an hour, it'll probably be available, and you can watch the previously recorded live show. If you're looking for Epic Drone Show merchandise, t-shirts, coffee mugs, and more, just go to go to epicdroneshow.com and go to store and go to merch. Short for merchandise, and you can find it there. If you need a drone accessories, anything drone related, just go to epicdroneshow.com. So, in other words, just remember epicdroneshow.com. It's kind of the one-stop shop for everything drone. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another live show soon. And again, tomorrow, hope to have a lot more Mavic Air field test videos posted. So stay tuned for that. I had a lot of fun filming them, and I've got a lot more that I'm filming tomorrow. So if there's a topic pertaining to Mavic Air that you want to see me address in the field, let me know, and I'll try to whip up a video because I'm looking for ideas. Ken says, will you ever get HomePod to review? And he says, love his HomePod like I love my Beats by Dr. Dre Pill Plus. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get a HomePod, although the HomePod, and by the way, if you're not familiar with HomePod, everyone, it's an Apple product. It's a speaker, but what's so revolutionary about it, and I don't have one, but from what I've read, is that you put it in any room, and it runs some diagnostics, and say you've put it against a wall, say you put it in the middle of the room, it runs some diagnostics, and it learns the room around it. So it optimizes its audio to sound the best that it can within that environment. So really, really cool technology that Apple has brought with the HomePod. Now, the one reason I won't get a HomePod, at least now, is that I'd like to be able to use it with a TV. It would be cool if they had like a HomePod soundbar type solution for your TV. That would be really slick. And I'm going to stick with the Beats by Dr. Dre Pill Plus because I like that for my MacBook Pro. It's a small speaker, but it sounds big. It's very clear. So when I'm doing my video edits, I can hear everything is in as good a quality as I need to for my needs. So very, very cool stuff. Joker Mayhem 666 says, including dumping water on it while in flight. Crashed it in sport mode into a tree, never broke. Wow. Ken says, love the work you put into reviews. Appreciate that, man. We're 50 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and get some rest because again, I will be thoroughly field testing the Mavic Air some more tomorrow. So stay tuned for my videos, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube.com/IrixGuy. Watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.